Hello, 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 and happy Friday, Saturday, once you're listening to this. It is almost 10 o'clock at night. I'm just now recording the episode and somehow need to get this edited and scheduled to post for tomorrow before I go to sleep because I have my Solidcore training in person starting tomorrow and Sunday, and it's all day both days. So here we are. Normally, I like to try and record on Tuesdays so that I have enough time to get the content out. Like, because if I record on Tuesday, but I already have like Wednesdays set, I can record 2 episodes for like the coming Saturday and the next Wednesday. So I'm always like ahead. Me saying that like I'm always on top of these episodes. But anyway, I digress. It has been honestly so busy. I feel like every episode starts that way, but truly and honestly, I'm trying to think. Last week I recorded, and I think I had recorded ahead of time, but I had the video with my dad and my brother already like done, so I was able to post Saturday and then Wednesday. So truly, I'm just out of my recording schedule, but I'm trying to think of when I recorded last week versus what has happened since then. Ava was on vacation, so it definitely was busier work-wise just because it was only me and Natalia. But like, not even like that was during the day. I'm trying to even think what I was doing. Oh, that is why I didn't record on Tuesday. Duh. It feels at this point like so long ago. I can't believe it was only a couple of days ago. Like, literally, it actually is kind of frightening to think that today's Friday. So, like, what, 4 days ago? Anyway, 3 days ago? You're like, we don't really care. Just get on with it. So, Chris and I went to go see the 25th anniversary of Harry Potter at the Cosm in Dallas, which was super cool. But what's funny about it is I booked the tickets, like, several weeks ago, and then at one point last week I woke up in the I think it was like I woke up panicked on like Sunday or like Monday like a Saturday or Sunday morning, I think, being like, oh my gosh, we missed the tickets. And I was like, wait a second, it's for the 7th. We didn't miss it. But anyway, so normally on Tuesdays I record because Mondays are my busiest work day. So usually by the time I get home, I'm like brain dead. And then Tuesdays are usually good days, but since we had tickets to the Cosm, I obviously didn't get to film. However, it was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, especially because if you really think about it, I have to close this door because I don't like the bathroom door being open and like there's gonna be a boogeyman that comes out from the dark and like murders and strangles me. So 1 second. Okay, I'm back. No, so essentially we went to the Cosm in Dallas, which is like dome. So like it's got like a screen as a dome and it's like shared reality. So obviously with a movie that was made in 2001, like I thought that they really did a good job with that limitation. I think going there, I didn't necessarily have any expectations, but then when we got there and we're watching different previews for the different things that they have either going on or coming up, I was like, oh, this is going to be so cool because it's going to be like the whole screen, but it's also going to feel like it's real, which the actual movie was like on, like in like a rectangle on the dome, but then things were going on behind it that made it shared reality. So they basically just tried to match like the screen of what was going on in the movie to the background. And again, just knowing it's an older movie, I think it was done really well. I think it would be super cool if it could have been the whole dome happening, but honestly, it's just not realistic for the movie. But like I said, it was really cool. That I do really think they did a good job. We got there, we were essentially in, because it is like a whole experience. So we purchased seats beforehand, but it was like a booth with like a table and then, like other people. Honestly, as like extra as it may sound, there are like booth options for like 4 people, where it's like a curved booth, a table, and then it's like just those 4 people. If we were ever going to go back and do something like that, I would honestly rather purchase the booth of 4 for just the 2 of us, so that it's like truly just our own space. And it wasn't crowded or anything, but it's just like a little bit too close for comfort, I would say. But we got there, we got to our seats. They did a really good job of like directing you. Honestly, the people there, like that work there, are above and beyond. Like, I felt like they did a great job getting us to our seats. I feel like they did a great job waiting on us, especially because you're waiting on, a lot of people, which obviously waiters and waitresses at a restaurant do anyway, but I just feel like it being in that movie setting and then having to also do it while the movie's happening and doing it in a way that is not distracting to the other people watching it. Like, I feel like everyone did a really great job. When we got there, we started with drinks. I just did kind of I did a martini. You know me, I have to stick to my gin. It was a little sweet, but also, I kind of expect that with drinks when I go out to places like that. I think that's why I'm so stuck on like a dirty martini, because I feel like it's hard. Well, it's never going to be sweet. So like, that's, even if it's not necessarily as strong, like it's not going to be sweet, but it was still good. Then we got we got a Caesar salad, because a lot of times if we have the option to get like food but then get like a Caesar salad or something that we can share, we'll do that. So we got a Caesar salad. Chris got like a spicy pepperoni flatbread, which I was kind of surprised about because he's not like a super big pizza person. And then I got the truffle chicken like sandwich burger with fries. And I would say, like, as far as the movie theater food I've had in the past, which has not been in a long time, so keep that in mind. Like, probably maybe I had it like once after COVID, I don't know, but it's been a while. But I did think it was good for like a movie theater type food. And it was nice because it was kind of like you got all the like you ordered your drinks, they came, you got your food, like everything kind of came, and then the movie's like starting. And I don't know what it is. I feel like I've been this way my whole life, but I love to like watch a movie or TV show or whatever while I'm eating. And it's honestly like, I know when people will say that with their eating, like, oh, don't like scroll on your phone or do whatever because it like becomes mindless, which is probably true to an extent. But for me, I don't even feel like I do it mindlessly. I feel like it's like an experience. I don't know why, but whatever, it is what it is. So for me, it was like perfect timing to like get there. I also loved that they really wanted you to record it. I mean, obviously it's like going on social media and like, promotional and everything, but I could see other people. I was recording but I could see other people like getting out their phones to record parts, and it was never distracting. And I think it's just because it's not that typical movie theater where it's like dark the whole time, like nothing, it's really like distracting if someone pulls out their phone. Like, I think because like the lights were changing, it was so interactive, whatever, you really didn't notice when someone was doing it. It was nice because then you could capture the experience, but like enjoy it and not mess up anyone else's experience at the same time. So anyway, that was good. The only crazy thing about it is that the movie started at 7, and I'm like, perfect. Like, it's a Tuesday, it's a weeknight, but like 7, it's not, oh my gosh. I think I for sure, but I think both Chris and I were like so tired. This is past our curfew. This is past our bedtime. We're out too late on a Tuesday evening. Because I think by the time we left, it was like 9:30 or something. And like for a Tuesday night, thank goodness I had already canceled my workout class for the next morning, because that was not going to happen. I was not great. This is probably one of the worst workout weeks that I've had in a long time. But I don't know, I was just tired. Like, I was tired. I only worked out twice, but I kind of am giving myself grace because tomorrow and Sunday is going to be all day training. And it's not that I'm probably going to work out a lot, but I don't know. I was just tired. It just is what it is. I didn't even have a reason. I don't feel like outside of going to that movie that I did anything extra than I would have done on a normal week. So it just, I guess my body needed rest. I had a call yesterday with my Etsy witch, and I really don't know why I'm calling her an Etsy witch. I didn't even find her on Etsy. She's never, well, as far as I know, she's never even been on Etsy, but I feel like at this point, I don't know, the vibe is just Etsy witch. And I was like thinking back on it, and I actually love it and do feel like I'm seeing results, because it's not like, oh, like, give me money, give me this, give me whatever. I almost feel like it's a form of like therapy and witch combined. But the last time that we had like our session, it was to really focus on, and I don't even know if like when I touched on this a while back, if I spoke about the actual things that we talked about, but essentially lately I feel like I've had a hard time with like opportunities will come in, but then I don't feel like they stay or anything. Like it'll all come in, but then it feels like it goes out as fast as it comes in. So we did like the spell the last time, like a month ago, to work on that. So then before my call, I was really reflecting on like, okay, but did this actually achieve or bring in any results? Because I do want to be really intentional about not only like the money and time that I'm spending on something, but also the energy that I'm putting into something and the energy that I'm allowing to come back to me. And oh my gosh, I just really love this girl, and it's just funny that like it's almost like as much as the like this TikTok video that she posted like probably changed the trajectory of her life so much. It's like also did the same for me by just being someone who was scrolling. So anyway, but what has been really cool is that I reflected on it, and there was like a magazine that had reached out right before the rebranding of the pod, and I initially like accepted, but then rebranded and then let them know like, hey, I'm totally interested in this opportunity, rebranded, here's the new name, here's the new whatever. Never heard back. I submitted my like answers to the questions, never heard back. I did a follow-up, never heard back, and I was like, so I guess that's that. And then I literally just happened to check that email like the other day, and I saw like a snippet in like the promotions or updates or whatever tab that like said like, congrats on your article with like Voy. And I was like, wait a second, and I like clicked on it. So then I went to the actual magazine website. Turns out they freaking published my article on June 17th. So it's funny because the offer had came in before my initial call. I did it, thought that it like went by the wayside. Turns out it didn't, and it was like still like it came to fruition. Same thing with Solidcore. Like I had been hearing the next auditions aren't going to be till like fall, maybe even early 2027. So at that point I'm like, okay, I'm already kind of like not giving up on the auditions altogether, but giving up on the timing that it's going to happen anytime quickly. And the auditions literally popped up and took another, like, the auditions that happened during that time were actually supposed to happen in a different state, and ended up switching and moving here because they weren't, like, they couldn't push it back anymore. But the fact that it just like popped up literally out of nowhere after I originally applied in, like, I want to say December or like January, and it's July. Well, it was June, I guess, when I actually found out about it. But the fact that like I originally applied and thought it was gonna be like, and actually I think I even applied earlier, like maybe even like November, December. Either way, it's been 6+ months. And we originally, no, yeah, it definitely had to be like October, November, actually, because I remember at the time, October, November of 2025, I remember the time one of the instructors that I'm friends with was like, well, I think that there's going to be auditions in like February. And I remember thinking like, that's so fucking far away. Like, I don't want to wait that long. Turns out you were going to wait a lot longer than that. But, well, not a lot longer, but definitely months. And it's not like I just knew, oh, it was going to get pushed to June. No, it kind of went into black space and didn't know if I was ever going to hear of him again. That's really dramatic, but you get what I'm saying. And then like with work, I had this program that like popped up, but then like, and it's like now like required for us to go through it in order to get to like that next like promotion. But then it was like told to me again before I had my initial call that it's like no longer gonna be a thing. And then it like came back and it was gonna be a thing, but it was gonna be even longer. And then probably like 2-3 weeks ago, I got the email like it is going to be a thing. And not only that, but they're opening up one last one for this year. And it's like you have to be accepted into it, but I could apply. I had to like take a training before I could actually apply for it. But I took the training, I applied, I got in, which is great. And there was one other thing. Oh yeah, and then I like applied for like Pilates bridge program because I taught Pilates at a different studio, but I went through like their training, so I'm only certified to be an instructor technically at their studio. But I applied for a bridge program because I thought like, well, if Solidcore is not going to happen for a while, maybe I could get like my certified Pilates, certification in the meantime. And then I applied for that like January 3rd. I just got the email yesterday that was like, oh my gosh, so sorry for the delay in responding to your email, like you've been accepted. So it was just kind of crazy because it's like all these things that like I did and I'm like didn't feel like I like did it, I applied or like knew it could be a thing, but like I guess I didn't subconsciously really believe it's gonna like happen or it's gonna happen for me. And then as soon as I have that call, like all of these things begin to happen. So I had my second call, super excited to see where we're gonna land at in the next 4 weeks after that one. But I just really, I don't know, it's kind of, for me, I did do therapy, but also not really. Like I did literally one session, and my poor mom, because I was not the kid that would like throw temper tantrums or act crazy or whatever, but I was like literally in 8th grade. So like what, 13, 14 years old. And she took me to therapy for very justified reasons, and I threw a fit the whole time. I maybe went to like 1 or 2 sessions. Anyway, it didn't last long. But I just feel like with therapy, like you like bring up things to like explain why you are the way you are. But then it's like, and I know that like they can give you tools on how to cope and how to deal and hopefully heal and whatever. But what's funny about it is like for instance, one of the questions that my girl asked me was about like my nervous system and about how like my nervous system is. And I was telling her like I deal with a lot of anxiety, and I do feel like it's gotten better for sure, but it at times was debilitating. Like I was the type of kid that if my mom was like, do you just like not want to go to school today? Like we could like play hooky, we could like do this, which honestly is like such an underrated characteristic as a parent, because I feel like she was doing mental health days before mental health days were really a thing. And I was the freaking nerd rule follower, whatever, that was like, no, I have to go to school. What do you mean? And but there was times like in middle school or whatever that I would have, you know, things with like friends and other girls and whatever, and it would give me the most debilitating anxiety that I could not function. Like I would have to stay home, or I'd have to go home early or whatever. And just because it was so not me, you know that there's like something else going on. So I just think that's always been something that's been hard to deal with. And what's funny is the like girl was asking me, and she literally puts out like in all of the things, like, this is not a therapy session, like I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I'm not all the things, like we're just having like conversation. And she's like, well, where do you think that anxiety stems from? And immediately I'm like, or like, no, when do you feel like you feel it the most, or it comes up the most? And I'm like, confrontation, conflict, whatever, which is crazy because I feel like it's not even in like my personality to be so anxiety ridden from something like conflict or confrontation. Like I'm the oldest of 6 siblings. I like am so good at like telling people what to do, like putting them in their place if they need to be, but I don't know why, like if either I know a situation is going to be potentially conflict, confrontational, whatever, uncomfortable, or I'm going to like deal with someone in that way, like it gives me so much anxiety. And it would have been easy to steer the conversation in a like, to almost like bringing it back to like why I feel that way, or why I have that like that dysregulation, like I don't know, like why my body literally has such an insane physical reaction to that, to the point where like I cannot function. But like that's kind of like I could trace that back to my childhood without like a question. And like I don't know, it's just kind of like, is it rocket science? Yeah, rocket science. Like we all have things in our childhood that you could trace back without, like it's easy. Like there was a lot of like fighting done in my household, so it makes sense that when like conflict or confrontation is going to come up and put me in an uncomfortable situation, that my body literally goes into like fight or flight, and I like cannot function. Like it does not take a genius to decode that, but that's not the issue that needs to be brought to light. It's like, first of all, the issue, I think what was such a big eye-opener, like light bulb thing for me, is it wasn't like, okay, how is your nervous system and like things like that, and I could say anxiety, and we could have been like, well, why do you think that you have that, or why do you think that you feel that way? No, it was like, what types of situations or whatever bring that on? That was like the switch, that was like the flip. It's like, okay, this is like this is what triggers it. And then it's like, okay, what are things that we can do to like help and combat that? And honestly, nothing was ever even brought up of like childhood, or how we got here, or why I might feel that way. And I think what I don't like about with therapy with stuff like that, and this is purely my own thoughts and feelings, no one else, if therapy is like great for you and works for you and has helped so much, That's totally amazing. Like, truly, these are just my own feelings and experiences. But I think what was like just so helpful with that is just, or no, I think like with therapy, sorry, I think what with therapy for me in the 1 or 2 sessions that I went, that was hard is it's almost like you have these like dormant things and you're trying to like bring back up why you feel them, as opposed to pinpointing now future situations or like situations that could come around that are going to make you feel a certain way. It could be because of X, Y, and Z, but does that really matter? I mean, it could in certain situations, but like for me to like harp on and hold on to the fact of like, I am this way because of this, that doesn't like help with any growth or getting over it. And again, I know that like there can be tools and this or that, but I'm kind of doing that now without having to bring up the past in order to identify these feelings or situations. I don't know if that made one itty bitty ounce of sense, but it did in my mind. So, oh my gosh, guys. Also, switching vibes, because I feel like we need a vibe switch. Everyone, take a sip of your martini or drink of choice. Drum roll, please. I only have one hand and I can't roll my R's or whatever. I finally cleaned out the guest room closet. Now, everything is still in it. However, it is cleaned. Everything has been pulled out. Every box, every nook, every cranny has been sorted through. Thrown out if it needed thrown out. Donated if it needed donated. It did get packaged back up and put back in the closet, but that is because I did it on a Sunday and I just did not have it in me because my storage is not close to my unit. Like, it is and it isn't, but it's kind of not. It's not like some people do have storages in like the other building. Mine's on the other building, but it's basically as far as it can be without it being in the other building. So, and I feel like Chris was like, let's do it. And normally, like literally my mom's going to be listening, being like, okay, well, first of all, I just listened to like childhood trauma. Thanks a lot. No, Mom, you're the best. And then she's going to be like, who actually are you? Am I even listening to my daughter right now? Because I'm the type that like, I was so annoying as a kid. Anything that like we would start doing like a project, like once I wanted to do it, I wanted to do it right then and there. And I wanted to do it full out. Like we're not going to like start doing it and only do it halfway, even if it meant staying awake and grinding for the next 24 hours. But I was just like, I don't know. It was like a Sunday. I was tired. My feet hurt. It had been a long weekend. I was like, because it was the 4th of July. And even though I was off, I kind of felt like I wasn't, because I am a community manager at an apartment complex, so I had to be on like high alert for the pool and people setting off fireworks and not setting the buildings on fire and whatever. So Saturday I just feel like I was the freaking HOA from afar. And then on Sunday it was like I feel like I worked out and maybe I did all this on I worked out. I think I got my brows laminated and tinted, my lash lift and tint. Oh yeah, I still have to talk about that. I got my nails done, and then I got home, and Chris and I were watching Love Island, and I was like, okay, I don't want to freaking do this closet, but like it's go time. So that's when I pulled everything out. We sorted through it all, like did all of that. And it just like by the time we were done, it was almost like 8 or 9 o'clock. And he was like, we can move everything in like 2 trips. And in my mind, I'm like, I love you so much, and I love the ambition. Like, there's no way it's happening in 2 trips. It's probably going to take us like, it's going to take a lot longer than what you're thinking. And we hadn't even like done dinner or got food or anything like that. So I'm just like, I don't want to, us be both tired, and it's like a Sunday, and it's like really the project I've been wanting to do. So anyway, the closet is organized and all gone through. The trash is gone. The donations are done. It's just the simple fact. It's just the fact of moving everything from that closet to the storage so that I can do what I want to do with the closet. But the nice thing is that I really didn't even like elaborate that to Chris before we started doing it. And then once we got everything out of the closet and we were kind of in there, like, not only see, this is what I like, this is where I feel like we're like always just on the same wavelength. It was like, not only did he see my vision, because I would really truly love to turn it into like a mini podcast studio, and it was like, not only did he see the vision, he was already like doing more, like seeing like things here, do this, do that. So I'm like, perfect, we're on the same page. But it just was like, I didn't want to start moving stuff. And like, yeah, it would be nice. Like, if I'm sitting here right now and it's all done and moved, like, yeah, would that be nice? Obviously. But I didn't want to do it at the expense of like us being so dead tired. And it's not even like, it's like Sunday, like we're going into the week. I already had a workout class scheduled for 5 a.m. that I didn't, 6 a.m. that I, like, at that point couldn't cancel. Well, I could, but then I'd lose like my whatever. So I was just like, no, let's just get food and finish watching Love Island. And it was good. It was like a good rest of like the Sunday. And even though it's like, there's still this stuff in it because it's so like organized at this point, I feel much better, because we can move the stuff at any time. So, plus, not only that, but I was literally thinking in my head on Sunday, it would be so much easier if we had 2 wagons, so that it actually would make it where we probably only had to take 2 trips, but it would be because we could stack 2 wagons and take them down. And then either the next day or the day after that, Natalia literally got another wagon from an apartment that a resident left all of their stuff behind. So now it actually is going to make it so much easier. Oh yeah, I did on Sunday get brow lamination and tint and lash lift and tint. And I will tell you, I love both. Here are my only things about if I will continue to do it. I need to get a good lash serum. So if anyone has a good lash serum that is going to make my lashes grow to, no, not that much. I don't want that much. But like, it was just, I feel like the thickness is good. They're not really like super thick, but like the thickness I could deal with. It did help with the curl and the tint, but they're just not long. I think the lift would make a much bigger difference if they were longer. The second thing, my back was hurting so bad laying on that like table. And the table is not uncomfortable. I don't know what was going on, but my back was hurting. Like, I was kind of trying to like shift around, but also I was wearing like a skirt. So I'm like kind of trying to like move with my legs, but I'm also not trying to freaking flash anyone, because even though there's like shorts underneath, the skirt was not super long. So like at some point I'm like, I feel like I need to just be crooked, because I don't know how much longer I can lay here. But she did a really good job. I love my brows. Like, at first when I came home, Chris was like, what is going on? And then the next day, Natalia was like, they look like too much today, but in a week they're gonna look great. I honestly didn't even think they looked too much, but I love a brow. Like, I love a brow that like is gonna pop and whatever. Like, for me, Anyway, I love that. So I would do it again. I'm already scheduled to do it again, but I need a good lash serum because honestly, otherwise the lash lift and tint is not going to be worth it. Not going to be worth it. I did get my laptop bag, my Longchamp bag, and my shoes. Oh, and I think on the last one, I was debating between the Prada sunglasses. Got those two. Don't regret. Single purchase, used of all of them. My laptop bag is great. It's a great size. It's super sturdy. It's gonna last a really long time. Love it. Longchamp bag, been wanting, love it. I feel like I'm gonna take that one to my trainings this weekend and see the vibe around that. My Solomon shoes, I love, even though I feel like that style I should not love, but ever since I got New Balances, I don't know, I'm a changed person. I don't know if it's for the good, if it's for the bad, if it's for the grandma, but here we are. And the Prada sunglasses, like, who is going to regret that? Not me. Couldn't be me. And now Natalia approved of all purchases once she saw them. And if you know, basically, if I do something and then I tell Natalia and she approves of it, I'm like, it's basically signed off on. So essentially no one else's opinions, including my own, matter at that point. No, I'm just kidding, but kinda. I don't know. It's just, if you know, you know. And unfortunately, you can't know unless you know her. Moving on to shows that I'm watching. I'm trying to think about what I was watching last time. So I know I was watching like The Wild Cherries, which I have not finished. It's like I feel like the premise of it and the characters are like good, but there's just something that's lacking a little because I'm not like dying to finish it. Because what did I start watching in the meantime? I feel like I started watching a different Prime show. Whatever I started watching, I feel like I started watching Elle, the like Legally Blonde reboot like series, which was super cute. Like honestly, I feel like they did a good job with it. Like honestly, like I really do. I feel like the character was perfect. The parents were great. And, you know, they basically just had to, like, come up with a storyline. So, it was cute. It was cute. And it left off on a cliffhanger, so I'm hoping that there's a season 2 because I do feel like it was cute. Love Island USA sucks this year. It sucks this year. Like, what are you guys doing? Okay, like I started watching Love Island USA because one of my friends was on it in season 1 of Love Island USA, okay? Then I feel like I didn't really, like, okay, then I didn't watch season 2. I watched season 3, which was, to me, was really good, and then that prompted me to go back and watch season 2. And I feel like the reason for all this is because honestly, streaming platforms have come so far in such a short amount of time. But when I watched season 1, I think I said this in the last one maybe, I had cable, so we were able to watch it. And then it was like we got rid of cable, but then season 3 was on Hulu or something, so then I was able to go back and watch season 2. Anyway, whatever. Honestly, season 4 and 5, I can't even remember. Season 6 and 7 were both good. Like, season 6, it was like, oh, this shit's good. Like, I feel like UK, especially, like, maybe not in the very, okay, like, to go back and watch UK in the very, very beginning, knowing what Love Islands are now, I feel like you're like, but, like, Moira season and, like, what's her freaking name? Like, Molly May and, like, right, doesn't she have, like, a whole show and stuff there? Like, I feel like that season of UK was really good. Like, Faye and Teddy, like, all of them. But then season 6 of USA came around. It was super good. Season 7, super good. This season, no. Because they didn't get rid of enough people and bring in enough people. Like, all. And that, I, like, can't even, like, say anything else about that. Like, they didn't bring in or get rid of enough people. So it sucks. And that is a bummer because I feel like it's such a good show that you just don't want it to suck. What else did Chris and I watched I Will Find You, the one on Netflix, which I feel like was good. Okay, my mom's gonna laugh because it's like her favorite influencer ever on Instagram that like did kind of a big recap on her stories about this, and she kind of, her and her husband, it sounds like, didn't really like it. They thought it was really cheesy. I didn't really think it was cheesy, so maybe I'm like missing something, but I mean, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good watch. Maybe there's just nothing else to watch right now, but I thought it was good. What? Oh, I watched not New Housewives, Real Housewives of Rhode Island, and I was fucking gagged because I'm like, okay, I think I've said this too, but I actually started watching Real Housewives because of Chris, because we were literally cooking breakfast in the double wide trailer that I lived in college, and he was like, do you want to watch a show? I'm like, yes. He turns on the freaking TV and puts on Housewives of Atlanta, and I'm like, period. First of all, the comments that he has to like not give two shits if I'm like, you fucking put on Housewives, and the fact that he's like interested because everyone freaking is in the drama and whatever. So we watched Housewives of Atlanta. I on my own have watched Housewives of New Jersey and Beverly Hills. But I heard, oh, and I watched like the first couple seasons of Potomac. I've watched like the first few I think I've watched the first, okay, I watched Miami, and like then, you know, it rebooted like for some or however many years later, and I watched like some of that, but I didn't finish. Anyway, I've watched those, but Rhode Island just came on, so I watched that one, and it's like, okay, well, it's only a season, I'll see how it is, and I liked it. Then I was on the phone with Mama G the other day, and I feel like we were talking about, oh, because we both just watched Voicemails for Isabel, the movie on Netflix, which, spoiler alert, I'm not a softie. Like, I'm the one that, like, when everyone's like crying in a movie or TV show, I'm like, shoot, like, do I look like heartless because I feel heartless right now? No. This movie, I like cried several times. I'm like, I mean, I didn't really cry, but I would get like teary eyed and kind of like sniffling, and like Chris is sleeping beside me, and I'm just like, but anyway, it was really cute. It was brutal, but it was cute. And so we were talking about that, and I was like, oh, I need another show to watch because I just watched something. And then I'm like, oh, and I just watched Real Housewives of Rhode Island. And she's like, oh, me too. Okay, not that she doesn't watch reality TV. She does watch reality TV. Does she watch reality TV? Mom, do you watch reality TV? Like, I mean, like, I know you do in some senses, but, like, I feel like it's actually, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like it's really not, like, your genre, but I've got to be missing shows we've watched, like, the same. Either way, never, ever, ever, ever has she watched a Housewives, like, show, like, branch, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, excuse me? Like, you can't just drop that so casually. She's like, oh yeah, I watched it and I liked it. I'm like, so we've like unlocked a new level. You cannot just skate past this so quickly. But anyway, that was a great little bonding conversation that we had about drama and craziness and all the things. So yes, if you like Housewives and you haven't watched Rhode Island, I'd highly recommend. But I'm trying to think of like what else. Anyway, if I think about it, obviously I'll tell you, but right now, and I feel like I'm kind of new, well, like this has been out, but I'm watching now The Testaments on Hulu, which the only reason I hadn't started it sooner was because I haven't watched all of Handmaid's Tale, and I know that it's kind of, you know, like, not that it's like a spin-off or prequel or the same, but it's just like the same sort of thing, and maybe it leads into that. But Handmaid's Tale was a really hard watch, and I don't know if it's just because like so many women out there are victims of like assault, and I'm one of them, so I don't know if it was just like so it was like, okay, seeing like the girl in the beginning, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, like, but that like gets her like eyebrow plucked out or whatever, like horrible. But I don't know, just seeing the like blatant assault disguised as and then maybe it was just like at the time I watched it, like not enough time had gone by or whatever, but I couldn't watch it. It was making me sick to my stomach. It was making me feel like I was like dizzy and whatever, so that just had to be that. But this one, even though it does have, I'm not done, but even though it does have parts of that, it's more like insinuated rather than just like blatantly seeing it. Not that that makes it better, but it maybe just for me it makes it easier to stomach. But right now I'm enjoying it. It's like one of those shows where it's just like so like sick that you're like, am I allowed to say that I'm enjoying it? But anyway, the show was good. The show was good, and I like the characters, and I think it's really well done so far. Maybe enough time has gone by. I should go back to Handmaid's Tale after this. I don't know, but at the end of the day, it's not even like I need more shows. It's just like a lot of the shows that are coming back that like Chris and I watch, it's like they're starting right now, but they're episode by episode, and we don't like to go episode by episode. We like to binge. So, and we always start the season all the way over. No matter how many times we've seen it, no matter how many seasons, whatever, we always start from the beginning. So like House of Dragon, the problem is we like just rewatched it somewhat recently, so it's like we could start rewatching it now because they're like 3-4 episodes out, but we kind of just rewatched it. Then Silo, it's like 3 or like about to be 3 episodes out, but we're gonna watch those first 2 seasons like so fast, so there's no reason to start it now. Like I'm just in a TV show limbo, and I hate TV show limbos. I hate TV show limbos because TV is my thing. It's my jam. It's mine and Chris's jam. Like, it's all the things. So I don't like the lulls. I just like love great content and everything coming out. And it's a hard knock life. It's a hard knock life, she said so sarcastically. But anyway, it is almost 11 o'clock. I still have to somehow upload this, edit it, and post it tomorrow. Don't know how that's going to happen because I also left my laptop charger in my office downstairs. So that is going to be super fun. And then I have training tomorrow, so we are going to end this here so I can shower. But I hope everyone had a great week. I hope you have a great weekend. Make sure you go read the article about Charm and Chaos if you haven't. It is on Voyage Dallas, their website, and I also put the link in my Comey. I think that's how you pronounce it, but like my link on my Instagram, it's on there, but it's not clear enough, so I need to fix it. But it's on Voyage Dallas, and with that, cheers to that.